In the previous video, we described and went through all the fields. We described best practice, what to add where, and why some of them are optional. If you haven't watched that, please go back and take the time to watch it. It will be very helpful for what I'm showing next. Now, let's say you have used the predefined templates, which are great. You used Clay credits for that. You got access to Twain. You like the outputs, but they are not 100% what you want. And that's exactly the moment when you should look into creating your own structure in Twain and connecting your own custom sequence ID and your own API key with Clay. So let's get into Twain. Twain is the copywriter for Outbound at Scale. So you should really look at it like your own 24/7 copywriter. We have 3 different plans, and this is really important. You'll only have access to the API under Pro and Scale. Now, let's get into the editor, and you'll see here I have my outbound agencies prospect list here ready. And what I did was, you can see on the left side an overview of my campaigns. And then when you go into one campaign, you'll see an overview on the message steps. I can see the full sequence. I can see that I have an introduction message and 2 follow-ups. I can see everything here. I can preview it for desktop and for mobile, which is very important because 83% of people read your email for the first time on their mobile phone. Now, what is really, really cool about this is we can go into detail here and we can do some creative work and set up some campaign structure. You can almost call it like an evergreen campaign structure. So you'll decide what your preference is. Hey, I'll have a campaign that is always just like 1 introduction and 2 follow-ups. That is very direct CTA and qualifying. I have one that is more around a lead magnet. I have one that is more around an event, a conference, and so on. So I'll go into my introduction message. And what is really cool is you can see here I'll upload my prospect list. But you can also just upload one individual so you can preview what the messages personalized look like. I had the lead list from Clay uploaded here because I wanted to see exactly what the structure will look like and if it will take on exactly the examples and instructions I gave him. If you want to do message level instructions, so you want to give very specific instructions, you'll add them under this prompt bar here in Twain. It will be applied to your Clay table. And you can see here, I only have these instructions in the first message. I'm using a predefined framework from Twain, which defines the structure. You can play around and test different intention and different frameworks. Now under follow-up, I did something really cool. Under follow-up, I added a message example. You can see here USP follow-up. I added an actual message and I have it activated here, and I asked Twain to follow this structure. You can see here when I click update, what happens. Twain does a semantic analysis and tells me, hey, this is how the structure of your message will be like. And if this looks good to you, then just save it. And then I will follow these instructions, right? So it will not use it as a template. It will not spintax it. It will use the structure and then follow it. And I did the same for a next follow-up, and I called this one social proof follow-up. And this way I can also change the length. I can change the tone, and I can review everything for one of my prospects. And that's the work that you do in Twain. And obviously I could now add message steps here. I could remove message steps. Again, I can change the tone, the length, and all this stuff. And that's really cool because that way you will get the editor experience of playing around with it, assuring that it looks good, assuring that there are no hallucinations, and that it's using the right structure and formatting and following your instructions. And you'll only do this for like 2-3 examples. And now that's a really cool thing. You can see here I have my persona, and I have the exact same persona that I have in Clay. You can see here the exact same inputs. And the reason for that is because I wanted to test, of course. Now, something very important. The next step that you do is you go here and then you copy the sequence ID, right? And then you go into Clay and you say, okay, now I know this sequence ID, when I paste it in here, you see it was already stored, will follow. It will generate 3 messages. It will generate the first message exactly with the structure of a framework, a Twain framework, and both of the follow-ups will follow the structure of an example email that I have added. Now, if you ask yourself, hey, okay, but like, where do I find my API key? Because I need my API key to do this. You go to your name, you click on API key, you find the documentation, and then also you can copy the key here. And then you can go back and then add your own API key in Clay. So this is a very important step, of course, because that's the only way you can do this more sophisticated and advanced structure and personalization, of course. Now, the last step, you might be wondering, okay, now I have my persona stored in Twain. I use this to generate the message in Twain. This is stored under this campaign, but when I go to Clay, what information will be used for social proof? And the cool thing is, whatever you have available here will always have priority. So it will always override whatever information is in Twain. But if you don't have any information here, we will use what you have stored in Twain. And that way, we'll make sure that whenever there's something missing, we still have the information available and are using it to personalize. So this is how you connect your own API key. This is how you generate the structure in Twain, and also why you should do it and at what stage you should do it to get to that last 20, 10, 5% that you want to really nail all the message structure. And of course, the coolest thing, add your own favorite templates as examples and make Twain follow these instructions.